In difficult times, the mind races, searching for answers, clinging to control as though survival depends on it. When sadness strikes or uncertainty clouds the path, the natural instinct is to tighten your grip, to force life into a shape you can understand. Yet the harder you hold on, the heavier everything feels. Instead of relief, you find exhaustion. Instead of clarity, confusion deepens. People often forget, in their deepest struggles, that life itself is capable of carrying them. The universe has a rhythm, an intelligence, a flow, and it does not stop simply because you cannot see the way forward. There is a paradox hidden here. The more you try to dominate life, the more it slips away from you. But when you release your grasp, even for a moment, something shifts. The weight lessens, the heart softens, and possibilities begin to appear. Trusting the universe does not mean closing your eyes to reality. It means remembering that reality itself is larger than your fear. Most feel lost because they have forgotten how to trust this deeper order. Yet once remembered, everything begins to change. Power does not come from control. It comes from release. Look around you. Your heart beats without your command. Your lungs rise and fall without your constant reminder. Even the morning sun appears, warming the earth, whether or not you believe it will. Nature's strength lies not in endless struggle, but in trust. And yet when you feel uncertain or lost, the instinct is to tighten your grip, to believe that safety lies in managing every detail. But this very effort is what makes you feel exhausted, disconnected, and powerless. Human beings often confuse control with security. You worry about decisions, question whether you've done enough, imagine infinite outcomes, and drain yourself in endless calculations. Like a farmer's helper who can swing an axe and mend fences with ease, but collapses under the weight of sorting potatoes one by one. The mind breaks down when forced to decide endlessly. Control turns into a burden. You may think you're protecting yourself, but in truth, you're building walls that keep life's natural intelligence from moving through you. And here lies the paradox. The moment you loosen your hold, when you stop clinging so desperately to outcomes, energy returns. Suddenly what felt impossible begins to flow. Words come that you didn't plan, paths appear where obstacles once stood, decisions settle into clarity without endless analysis. The more you surrender, the more powerful you become, not through dominance but through alignment. By releasing control, you step into harmony with the same force that guides rivers, grows forests, and brings dawn after night. Delegation is not weakness, it is the very structure of life. A body does not survive by one cell commanding all others. It thrives through cooperation, through each part trusting the whole. In the same way, the universe reveals its intelligence when you let go. Synergy arises, a greater wisdom than any single perspective could command. This is why great leaders succeed when they delegate, why ecosystems flourish when balance is respected, and why a soul at peace feels carried rather than crushed. Letting go does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means releasing the illusion that you must bear it all alone. When you stop forcing, when you stop fighting, you discover that life has always been supporting you. Power was never meant to be wrestled from the world. It was meant to be remembered as the natural state of being in rhythm with it. And as you open to that rhythm, you realize the universe is already handling the rest. Every leap into the unknown feels like risk, but the unknown is where the universe reveals its hidden hand. When control slips from your grasp and certainty disappears, fear rises. Yet those very moments of uncertainty are invitations to trust, to let life move in ways you could never design. Just as you discovered in the paradox of power, release brings strength, so too does surrender to the unknown bring guidance. The universe does not demand that you map every detail. It asks only that you step forward with openness. Think of how often the greatest breakthroughs arrive, not from rigid planning, but from surprise. You prepare for one outcome, only to find that circumstances rearrange themselves in ways you never imagined. A chance meeting changes the course of your life. A so-called setback reveals itself as the very thing that cleared your path. These are not accidents. They are signals that life carries an intelligence beyond your control. When you let go of the need to predict and command, you allow that intelligence to work on your behalf. And letting go does not mean sitting passively, waiting for fate to do the work. Surrender is active. It means participating fully in the present moment without demanding certainty about the outcome. It is planting seeds without obsessively digging them up to check their growth. It is walking the path without needing to see the entire road ahead. This kind of surrender is courage. It requires the humility to admit, "I don't know what will happen," while still stepping forward in faith. In truth, not knowing is a gift. At first it feels like standing in darkness, but slowly you realize that the dark is fertile ground. Desire loosens its grip, fear loses its edge, and you begin to listen rather than demand. In that silence, guidance appears. Sometimes it comes as intuition, sometimes as coincidence, sometimes as the gentle unfolding of circumstances that align more perfectly than you could have arranged. The unknown is not your enemy. It is the stage on which the universe reveals its wisdom. So when you face uncertainty, instead of resisting, allow yourself to flow with it. Let the river carry you, even if you cannot see where it bends. The question is not whether you can control the future. You cannot. The real question is whether you can trust the flow enough to be surprised by it. For when you do, you discover a truth hidden in plain sight. By letting go, the universe has already begun to handle the rest. Ancient wisdom has always pointed to this paradox. The Upanishads remind us, if you think you understand Brahman, you do not understand. If you know you do not understand, then you truly understand. Just as surrender to the unknown opens the way forward, letting go of control reveals a power that is deeper than force. Life is not meant to be held in your hand like a possession. It is meant to move through you like breath. And the moment you stop clutching at it, you discover that it has been carrying you all along. Clinging is what drains you. Imagine holding your fist tightly shut for hours, convinced that the safety of your life depends on keeping it closed. The muscles ache, the strength weakens, and you lose energy with every passing moment. Finally, when you release, blood rushes back, and vitality returns. Letting go is the same. The energy wasted in self-defense, in endless attempts to manage and force outcomes, becomes available the moment you trust. What once felt like exhaustion transforms into renewal. And what if everything you cling to is already slipping away? Towers crumble, empires vanish, bodies age, and even the strongest structures dissolve. The illusion of permanence is already breaking down before your eyes. Yet this is not tragedy, it is liberation. Decay itself is your teacher, reminding you that nothing here is yours to hold forever. In this truth, letting go becomes natural. You are not abandoning control. Control was never yours to begin with. The irony is that true power arrives not when you tighten your grip, but when you release it. What comes to you in that moment is not power that corrupts, but power that can be trusted, because it flows through you rather than belonging to you. It is the strength of alignment, the clarity of intuition, the force of life itself, moving unhindered. The same current that guides the stars and births galaxies moves quietly through your own existence when you step aside. To let go, then, is not to fall into chaos, but to return to rhythm. It is to realize that life has never needed your anxious interference to keep turning. And once you surrender, the mystery reveals itself. The very power you tried to manufacture was waiting for you all along. By releasing control, you become a vessel for the greater intelligence of the universe, and in that surrender, you finally see, the universe is already handling the rest. Religions across time have wrestled with this truth. Some taught that salvation rests on belief, while others pointed to knowledge. Yet neither belief nor knowledge alone can carry you into the freedom of letting go. As you saw before, release is not an idea to be studied. It is an experience that moves through your very being. It is something felt in your bones, lived in your breath, revealed in your silence. To truly trust the universe is not to hold a doctrine in your mind, but to let your life become a living act of surrender. Belief often tries to secure you against the unknown. It builds walls of certainty to keep fear away, but walls also keep out life. When you cling to belief as armor, you may feel safe, yet you are cut off from the flow of the very universe you long to trust. Knowledge, too, can become a trap when it is mistaken for possession. You cannot hold infinity in a concept any more than you can capture the ocean in a jar. Both belief and knowledge point toward truth, but neither replaces the living experience of release. This is why mystics across cultures spoke of a cloud of unknowing. They understood that to encounter the divine, one must step into the mystery, letting go of every definition and every claim to certainty. In the East, this was called jnana, a wisdom that arises not from accumulation, but from surrender. In the West, it was called faith, not as blind acceptance, but as the courage to trust without seeing. Both traditions converge on the same point. Letting go of control is the doorway to true understanding. When you live in this trust, life becomes less about defending yourself and more about dancing with the rhythm that already carries you. You are no longer arguing with reality, trying to force it into the shape of your will. Instead, you are moving with it, step by step, like a dancer in tune with a partner far wiser than yourself. The weight is lifted from your shoulders, not because challenges vanish, but because you no longer face them alone. So the shift from belief into experience is the shift from clinging to flowing. Belief says, I know what must happen. Trust says, I am willing to be surprised. And in that willingness, the universe meets you in ways that belief alone could never deliver. To live in surrender is to discover that letting go is not loss. It is alignment with the truth that the universe has always been handling the rest. Mystics like Dionysius the Areopagite spoke of a knowledge by unknowing, a way of encountering the divine not through grasping, but through release. Just as surrender moves you beyond belief into experience, unknowing carries you beyond experience into mystery. Every label, every definition, every attempt to capture the infinite falls short. God is not confined to your concepts of love, justice, spirit, or even unity itself. To cling to those ideas is to cling to shadows. To let them go is to step into the presence of something far greater than thought can hold. This wisdom is not abstract philosophy. It mirrors your own life. Every identity you cling to, every story you tell yourself, becomes fragile under the weight of time. Roles shift, achievements fade, plans unravel. And the more tightly you hold them, the more anxious you feel. Because deep down, you know they cannot last. But when you release even these attachments, when you allow yourself to admit, I don't fully know who I am or where I'm going, you open to the deeper truth. You discover that beneath the shifting forms is a presence untouched by change. Unknowing may feel like loss, but it is liberation. It is standing before the ocean without needing to map its depths. It is gazing at the night sky without demanding answers for every star. In that humility, you stop resisting the flow and begin to float with it. You may not see where the current leads, yet you feel its rhythm carrying you with perfect precision. And in that rhythm, a strange peace arises, the peace of knowing you don't need to know. This is the essence of letting go, not clinging to concepts, not defending identities, not demanding guarantees, simply allowing the mystery to hold you. For when you release into unknowing, you discover a truth both humbling and empowering. Life has always been unfolding without your control. To let go is to see clearly that the universe is already handling the rest. To let go is not weakness, it is the deepest form of strength. You are not abandoning life, you are stepping into its arms. You are not losing power, you are discovering a power that never depended on your grasp. So when confusion rises, when sadness grips, when fear whispers in your ear, remember this truth: let go. The universe will handle the rest. It always has, it always will.